There's a moment that arrives in this work, and when it does, your whole career hangs on what you do in the next 10 seconds. I've watched it land on coaches I admire, people who have been doing this longer than I have. The method is the same one you fell in love with across the constellation modules. Objects on the table, each one standing for a real person in the system, and slowly the team starts to see itself. It's gorgeous when it works. And right in the middle of that beauty, something opens, a door you did not intend to open. What makes this dangerous is precisely that it doesn't look dangerous. Nothing is breaking. The session is going well. The room is alive. People are leaning in. The picture on the table is getting truer by the minute. That's the trap. The pull toward the wrong destination arrives dressed as a breakthrough, wearing the same clothes as the best moment of your session. So I want to slow this whole thing way down. In the next few minutes, I'm going to freeze one specific moment. The one where the constellation you're running, the legitimate work system map, suddenly tries to become a different kind of work entirely. Same objects, same table, same method, a completely different profession's territory, and a boundary you are responsible for holding. Two methods share a shape. Only one of them is yours to run. Learning to feel the seam between them. Live while the room is moving. That's what this unit is about, and it starts with a single sentence spoken by an executive holding an object. Picture the table. A coach is running a tabletop with a leadership team, and they've set it up well. There's an object for each executive sitting around that table. There's one for the CEO. There's one for the absent board, the people who shape every major decision and never sit in the room. There's even one for the missing customer, the voice the whole company exists to serve, and somehow nobody speaks for. 7, 8 objects, and the team is arranging them, moving them, arguing gently about where the CEO's object really sits in relation to everyone else. It's working beautifully. This is the part I want you to feel before we get to the danger, how right it's going. The system that's usually invisible is becoming visible on that table. People are saying things like, oh, that's why the board object feels so far away. And somebody else nods because they felt that distance for 2 years and never had words for it. The energy is good. You, as the coach, are doing excellent work. Then one executive reaches out and picks up the object that stands for the CEO, and they go still. It's a deep, slow stillness, the kind that changes the temperature of a room, the kind that has nothing to do with thinking about org structure. And quietly, almost to themselves, they say, "This is exactly how it was with my father." Freeze it right there. Do not move past that sentence yet. Everything I'm going to teach you lives in the half second after those words land, in what you do before your reflexes decide for you. Notice what your body just did when you heard that line, because the room does the same thing. It holds its breath. The breath catches for a reason, and that reason is what makes this the most important moment in the whole module. The method this coach is running, the constellation on the table, is the very same method that, in another lineage, works exactly that material. The father, the family, the inheritance you carry from people who came before you. The two methods share a shape by design, by genuine common ancestry in how this kind of work was born. That overlap is real, and it's the whole reason this moment is so easy to walk into. So look at what actually happened on the table. Did the constellation change? No, the objects are in the same positions. The CEO's object is right where it was. The tabletop didn't rearrange itself. Nothing in the physical picture moved at all. What moved was the destination. The executive's sentence reached out and tried to repoint the whole method away from how does this leadership team move around the CEO role and toward how did I move around my father? Same vehicle, brand new address. And because the method genuinely serves both addresses, it'll go wherever you steer it. That's the unnerving part. The constellation won't resist being driven into family of origin territory. It's perfectly happy there. The only thing standing between the work system and the family of origin in that moment is you noticing that the destination just tried to change while the shape stayed exactly the same. Let me name the two lineages plainly, because you need to be able to tell them apart in your sleep. What you've learned in this course, solar system, tabletop, magic box, circle, those are organizational and systemic constellation methods. They externalize a work system. They make its roles visible, its ghost roles, the empty chairs nobody fills. They show you the center of gravity, where the real weight of the team actually sits, and they show you how information flows or fails to flow between roles. That's in scope. That's your work, and it's good work. The other lineage runs the family. This is the Bert Hellinger strand, family constellations, transgenerational work. It maps ancestral entanglement, family of origin loyalty, the patterns that travel down through generations, intergenerational trauma. When that executive said, "My father," they were standing at the doorway of that second lineage. So picture two columns. On the left, in scope, roles, ghost roles, center of gravity, information flow, the structure of a team at work. On the right, out of scope, the ancestor, the inheritance, the wound that traveled 3 generations to land in this person. The methods that open each column look almost identical from the outside. You will not be able to tell them apart by watching the objects move. You can only tell them apart by where you're aiming. Now I want to be very careful about how I talk about that right-hand column, because it would be easy to hear me drawing the boundary and assume the family work is the lesser work. The family of origin and transgenerational strand is serious, established, rigorous practice, every bit the equal of yours. People build whole careers on it. It is frequently delivered by licensed therapists, professionals who trained for years specifically to hold ancestral grief and intergenerational trauma without harming the person in front of them. I have deep respect for that craft. I would refer my own clients into it. So the boundary you're holding is a line of profession and license. Both columns hold real, demanding, valuable work, equal in worth. What divides them is who is trained and credentialed to stand inside each one. And you are credentialed to stand in the left-hand column, the work system. Hold on to that phrase from a minute ago. Same shape, different destination. The shape, objects, representatives, a living map you read with your body, that shape belongs to both lineages, honestly. What separates them is the destination. One method drives toward the work system. The other drives toward the family system. And the destination is the boundary. That's the whole thing in 5 words. The moment your constellation's destination quietly changes from this team to this person's family, you have crossed out of your profession and into someone else's, even though your hands are doing the identical work on the identical table, which is exactly why the next 2 moves prevention and the catch are both built around guarding one thing: the destination. The shape will take care of itself. Where you aim it is the work. So, how do you keep the method pointed where it belongs? The first move is prevention, and prevention happens before a single object touches the table. You build the destination into the setup out loud as a frame, so the method has somewhere to point from the very first instruction you give. Take a sentence like this one. Before anyone reaches for an object, you say something like, "We're going to map this leadership team. Who's here? Who isn't? How decisions actually move between these roles. We're mapping the system you work in, not anyone's personal history." Short, plain, said while you're still arranging the space, before the emotional charge has anywhere to gather. I want you to feel why that one sentence does so much work. When you name the destination at the start, you've given the whole method a North Star. Every object that gets placed after that is placed under the heading you set. This is the work system. So when something tugs toward the family later, and on a live team it often will, you're not improvising a boundary in a panic. You set the boundary already, calmly, when the stakes were low and nobody was holding the CEO's object with their father in their throat. The coaches who get blindsided by "this is how it was with my father" are almost always the ones who never said the work system sentence at the top. They left the destination blank, and a blank destination gets filled by whoever feels the most charge in the room. Set the destination first, then the method knows where it's facing. Prevention is the frame you set at the start. The catch is what keeps you safe in the middle after the session is moving and the frame is 20 minutes behind you. The catch is running the method test continuously, the whole time, like a hum underneath your attention. The method test is the quiet question you keep asking. Is what's happening right now mapping the work system, or has it slipped towards someone's personal history? You're not asking it once. You're asking it on a loop in the background while you stay fully present to the team. It's the same discipline a good driver has. Eyes on the road, but some part of you always reading the mirrors. The payoff comes when the test is running. "This is exactly how it was with my father" doesn't ambush you. It registers cleanly, in real time, as a specific event. The pull just arrived. That's all it is, the pull arriving. Not a crisis, not an invitation, not a door you're obligated to walk through. Just a signal you were already listening for, showing up right on schedule. The coaches who get caught are the ones who'd stopped running the test because the session was going so well. They heard "my father," and their helping reflex fired before their judgment could. They followed the charge because it felt important and vivid and alive. You notice it early, and you stay free to choose what happens next, precisely because some part of you never stopped listening for that exact sentence. The test is cheap to run and expensive to skip. Now, the actual move, because noticing the pull is only half of it. What do you do out loud in front of the team in the 3 seconds after that executive says "my father"? There are 2 clumsy answers and 1 clean one, and I want you to feel the difference in your body. The first clumsy move is to chase the father. The charge is so vivid, the moment so tender, that you lean in. "Tell me about your father." And now, You're running a therapy session you're not licensed to run, with the team watching and the engagement quietly leaving scope. The second clumsy move is the cold one. You hear my father, you panic about the boundary, and you shut the person down. Let's stay focused on the team. Technically correct, and it lands like a slammed door on someone who just made themselves vulnerable in front of their colleagues. The clean move does both real things at once. It holds the person's dignity, and it steers the constellation back to the work in a single warm breath. It sounds like this. That landed somewhere deep. Thank you for trusting the room with it. And while you're holding this object for the CEO, what do you notice about how this team moves around that role? Hear the structure. You honor what surfaced genuinely, no flinching. Then you hand them back the work system question, still warm, still holding the object. Dignity intact, boundary intact, and the constellation pointed home again. One move, not two. So here's your work before we go on, and I want you to actually write it, pen on paper, because the words you'll reach for under pressure are the words you've already rehearsed. You're going to draft 2 sentences. The first is your setup sentence. Picture yourself about to run a tabletop with a leadership team, before a single object moves. Write the one sentence you'd say out loud to give the method a work system destination from the very start. Something that names what you're mapping, this team, these roles, how decisions move, and quietly names what you're not mapping, anyone's personal history. Make it sound like you in your own plain voice, not a script you'd read stiffly off a card. The second is your redirect. Imagine family of origin material has just surfaced mid-constellation, the way it did for that executive holding the CEO's object. Write the move you'd make, the one that honors what surfaced with real warmth and brings the constellation back to the work in the same breath. Build it in 2 beats, the honoring, then the work system question that hands the person back into scope. Get them down on paper now while it's calm and theoretical, so they're already in your mouth when it's live and charged, and a real person is standing very still in front of you. Keep both sentences where you can find them. In the next unit, we turn from holding the boundary to the harder ethical question. When the right move is to refer a member out entirely, and how to do that without it landing as a verdict.